Google and Meta have made performance marketing really boring. Gone are the days of being able to tweak individual keyword bids and watch the money flow into your campaigns on peak trading days like Black Friday. But as we enter the agentic era of performance marketing, things might finally be about to get interesting again. So we're here today to talk about agentic AI in performance marketing, which has finally got both of us pretty excited about what we do at work again. But I guess to kick off, like, what do we actually think that agentic AI is looking to solve? Like, what problems can agentic AI actually fix in performance marketing?
Yeah, I think it's split into two different streams. The first one is that it can do things that account managers just do day to day. So performance commentary, checking things are correct, checking tracking's working, and that frees up account managers' time to focus on strategy. But then it can also do things that account managers can't do. So it can analyze, thousands and thousands of signals. It can, take data from all sorts of different data sources, and it can use that to optimize campaigns, which is sort of way above what the human brain can actually do, or it'll take the human a long time to do. So I think it's split into two streams. It's like saving time, so people can be a lot more strategic the way they think and the way they act, and also it can basically do things that humans can't do.
So we've always tried to stay at the forefront of automation in performance marketing. So I guess, like, why hasn't automation solved some of these problems already? Like, what's different about agentic AI compared to previous versions of automation that we've had?
Yeah, I mean, I think it has. I think the automated smart bidding is kind of agentic AI in a way that it manages the keyword bids, all of the signals at an auction level. So it takes all of the different signals. You used to have to do a keyword bid, gender adjustment, day of time adjustment, blah, 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 blah. It does all of that. Where agentic AI can do is it can it feels the environment around it, and it can then just act off the back of that. So it can then, off its own back, it can go and check. So let's say conversion tracking was broken, it can go and then pull a conversion report, look when it was broken, look at the change history. Were there any change in the change history that could have caused that change? It can start thinking for its own. And
I guess the other thing is, we were sat in the office the other day and you built a tool that would have taken days and days and days to code manually, whereas it took you a couple of hours to build something that was better quality than what you would have coded manually previously as well. So
maybe that's my coding ability.
Maybe, yeah. Actually, that's definitely your coding ability. I could have knocked that out in a day. But even so, it only took a couple of hours, right? Yeah. And I guess that's the point, is that you're still trying to automate the same processes that you were before, but the speed to create those tools now is infinitely quicker.
Yeah. Well, because as in, it used to be just like automation used to be rules based, but it doesn't need to be rules based anymore. Because of the AI agents, it can think for itself. It doesn't have to be like, if this, then do this. It can analyze like a whole chunk of code. It can work out what you're trying to do. It can work out your end goal, and then it can act off the back of that. Yeah. Which is very different to what it used to be.
And do you reckon that many people within performance marketing are leveraging agentic AI yet? Like, I feel like the AI agents has been bandied around as a thing for quite a while now, but do we think that it's finally getting to a position where it can be useful?
I think people are using it because they're scared of being left behind. I don't think people are using it to be actually useful yet. I think some people might be, but I think the off-the-shelf agents that we've used aren't useful yet. They need to be trained. They need to be tweaked. So I think people, in terms of like PPC and paid search management, I'd say unless someone has built something and changed it themselves, then I'd say the off-the-shelf ones aren't useful yet.
Yeah, because I feel like it's just clickbait on LinkedIn.
Oh, LinkedIn is full of it.
LinkedIn is full of it. The amount of people posting that they've built an agent that does this or that, but to me it just sounds really overhyped. And actually, when you look into how to do it as well, it's pretty technical.
Yeah.
So like these LinkedIn gurus will have you think that anyone can just go and build an AI agent and it's going to automate every single process in your business, which is total nonsense. But
yeah. But I see there's someone told me the other day that they've got an AI agent to read their diary and send them a WhatsApp of the key things to work on today. That's so pointless. Like, just read your diary and look at it yourself. Like, you know what I mean? You don't need that. Or maybe some people do. But I was like, that's like kind of using AI agents for the sake of using AI agents.
That's it. Like, it's so much hype and it sounds good on paper, but like, how does it actually deliver value?
Yeah,
But
after the fourth WhatsApp you get, you're going to be like, this is so
this
boring.
is annoying. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you're going to stop. You can stop reading it.
Ask the AI agent to turn it off for you.
Yeah.
Like, what is an AI agent though? Like, what even is it?
So it's basically a software that perceives its environment. So it can like make decisions, it can take actions, and it basically it can learn from results. So it can test something, get a result, and then learn from that. So yeah, think of it as like I don't know, in like an analyst sense, it's like a junior analyst that can run some analysis, look at the results, take the feedback on board, go away and improve.
Yeah.
That's basically that's basically the key difference. You don't need to tell it what to do after every single step. It can try something, get the results, move on to the next step,
Yeah.
and iterate and so on.
I think that analogy of it being like a junior member of staff is a really good one as well, right? Because if you hired a junior member of staff, there's no way that you would let it go and manage £1 million a month of media spend, right?
No.
There would be a lot of human oversight. And I feel like that's where Agentic AI is at the moment. It's the equivalent of a junior member of staff, and it still needs a lot of human intelligence layered into it and control.
For now, I think that's where we're at. I mean, you get all these tech bros coming on talking about it's going to happen in 6 months. Like no one really knows. It is developing quick, but I do think it will need human oversight for a long time. It's really good at the moment for very simple tasks, but I would say if you told an AI agent to go and change your like paid search budgets, I wouldn't trust it would do it right. It can read some conversion signals and it can like give you your suggested budgets. But like for example, Google Ads have been giving you suggested budgets for years, saying you could get this many more conversions. Has anyone ever used that recommended budget?
That.
No one does it, right? But that's mainly maybe because everyone thinks that Google has a hidden motive of wanting you to spend more money, which it does because that's how it makes more money.
I mean, Google's AI agents of the future will definitely encourage you to spend more money.
Yeah.
Whether or not that's effective or not, who knows?
But I do think that the most powerful part of an AI agent at the moment would be analysis, like pulling data, analyzing data, giving you the snapshots, giving you the areas to focus on. Yeah. Because if you want to analyze performance, historically you have a list of things to look through. Right, how we're looking week on week, how we're looking year on year, how are conversions looking, how's CPC looking, how's cost looking, how's clicks looking. Whereas the agent could just do all that for you and point you in the right direction. Right, your cost has increased because CPC's increased. I've checked the auction insights. This competitor's come into the auction. That's why your CPC's increased, and then that's the explanation, and that just saves loads of time.
Yeah, that's the key thing. Is speed to insight, right? The way the level of speed that an AI agent can generate insight in versus a human is insane. If you were to go through any PPC account managers download files on their laptop, the amount of Excel files that should be in there, where they're downloading data, they're stitching things together, they're building pivot tables, analysis that can take a couple of hours can probably be done in like less than minutes.
Yeah. And they can take feedback as well. So if they do something and you want it to tweak it or you want it to change how it's done, you can give it that feedback. It can learn for the next time. So you don't have to constantly keep querying it. I mean, ChatGPT's kind of done that for a long time, but when you open a brand new ChatGPT window, you don't have to give it all of the context from the previous, however many conversations you had with it. An AI agent should have learned that and picked that up.
Yeah, that's it. And then I guess the key to then making it useful is like, yeah, fine, you've got insight at the tips of your fingers, but then it's about what you do with that, right? And I think that's where humans are still critical in the process.
Yeah. I think, the things they can struggle with are, any changes that happen, like current affairs, for example, something massive happens in the world that can affect a business. I don't think an AI agent would be able to pick up on that pretty quick. It can look at the data, but that's going to be quite slow. Whereas when it comes to, right, this is a big day in our calendar because we're launching a brand new sale in 2 days. You can tell an agent that, and it can give you, some sort of like suggestions on what to do. But I do think that creativity and that foresight needs to come from a human. Yeah, for now, anyway.
Yeah, and I think where they struggle as well. So like some of the things that we were talking about on our way here today were about the you still have to give it very clear instructions
Yeah.
about what you want, like the underlying data that it's working with, like the metadata of the data that it's working with needs to be really clean.
Yeah. It's cost as well. You don't want an agent looking over a BigQuery table with 100,000 rows as well. Like that's going to cost. You need to write either an MCP or a function which queries a BigQuery table to like chunk it up to then give to the LLM model to do the analysis. I still think you need to if you basically give an AI agent 100,000 BigQuery table, it's going to cost a lot. I think it's going to run into a lot of dead ends. It's probably not going to do exactly what you want it to do.
Yeah. So. And if you think conceptually about what an AI agent is doing as well, is it's just replacing processes that humans used to do. It doesn't mean that it's going to replace the fundamentals of a good campaign. Like what is a good performance marketing campaign? It relies on a really good product. It relies on a really good website. It relies on really solid conversion data that you can feed the algorithms that run the campaign. So I think that's where there's probably a lot of hype around it as well, is that at the moment its usefulness is in speeding up the processes that humans used to do, but you can't forget marketing strategy and making sure that you've got that in a solid position.
Yeah, so we use AI agents a lot, and I've yet to have a suggestion from an AI agent saying you should track this and send this data to the algorithms to try and improve performance. That hasn't happened yet.
It's because we need to train it.
Yeah, exactly. But like that, you need to the out of box thinking, the creativity, the ad copy, the creative. That still needs human intervention. Also, the communication as well. I mean, we work with clients that the AI agent doesn't know how to talk to clients. As in, will it send the right information? Does it know what the client wants? Yes, you can train that eventually.
Yep.
But to get on a call and explain changes and then think about next steps, think outside the box. Okay, what are we doing? The client can say, we're struggling with this, like I've had this feedback from this, like the AI agent can, if you feed that into it, it could probably come up with a solution, but I don't think it can come up with a solution as good as a human right now.
That's it. It feels like anything where creativity and a human touch is required, it's not going to replace that, at least not yet.
Yeah, until like general intelligence is created, and then
we're all screwed.
Yeah. General intelligence created, then we can all just hit the beach and just do nothing, get really fat like Wally.
What do you think in terms of like immediate commercial impact for businesses then? Like, I guess it's impossible to predict any further than maybe like a year or so ahead, but what do we think the immediate commercial impact is on businesses of agentic AI in performance marketing?
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously the obvious like the massive concern at the moment is people like being laid off. Like AI agents are replacing analysts, and I think they will do. Like, there's nothing you could do to stop that. So I think businesses will do that and will save money in that way. I do think they need to make sure the AI agents are good, and they need to build a lot more trust in them before that happens. So I do think, like, I know you read on like Twitter, that's going to happen tomorrow. Like, it's not going to happen tomorrow. It's going to be a bit of a longer drawn process. But so there's cost savings in that, but then whether that means laying people off or just redirecting people to different things. So, people can have a lot more time to focus on strategy and creative outside the box ideas, that will drive businesses forward.
That's it. It's almost like if your job relies on repeatable process, i.e. downloading lots of Excel files, building lots of tables, going through the motions of the same thing day in, day out, they're the people that should be worried about their jobs. And they need to be looking at how they can rise above that and use the outputs of that labour to be more strategic and more useful for the business, as opposed to just living behind, it takes me a day to pull that report, so that's like 20% of my working life.
Yeah.
That's gone.
I think the attitude shouldn't be, oh no, I'm losing my job. It's like, right, this is going to save me loads of time. What should I do at the time?
How can I be more useful?
It's going to say this is going to save loads of time. What else can I do? And you just like increase your output massively, and you become way more valuable to the business.
Yeah.
And it's where people, if AI agents basically replace people like what they're doing, and the people don't go and use that time elsewhere, obviously you're going to be let go.
That's it. If you're a client should you be sat there thinking, why do I need performance marketing agencies anymore? Why don't we just use AI agents to just run the whole thing? Do you think we're there yet?
No. We've used we've basically connected to like the native Google Ads MCP server. But basically, it's just a tool to pull reports from Google Ads. It doesn't have any training on like what looks good, what looks bad. It doesn't have any, special knowledge that, account managers have. You still need that account manager's knowledge into the AI agents before you can even think about doing that. What I would say is if your agency aren't using AI agents, they're going to be left behind. You're going to be left behind. They're going to be left behind. Your agency should be already speaking to you about the agent that they're building. They should be speaking to you about how they're using AI agents, how they're saving you time, and then that then comes to right. They're using the time to do this. Right. Okay. What's that? What impact's that going to have? Or if you don't want that impact, do you want them to spend less time, and does that relate to a lower fee? Yeah. I think they're the conversations you need to be having with your agency.
And I genuinely do believe that it's clients want that time to be reinvested.
Yeah.
I don't think we're in a position yet where clients are kind of coming to us, not the clients we work with anyway, saying we want to halve your fee because you're automating everything. They want us to reinvest that time into being more useful and driving better business results for them. That's what it's all about, isn't it? Is I've got this amazing tool that can save loads of time for me. How can I reinvest that time into increasing revenue for my clients and increasing the performance of campaigns?
Yeah. Let's think about whether we put that one in or not. I don't know if it's worth us putting it or not. We'd have to decide that now, do we? But I think So with the landscape at the moment with the agents, it's not just for people who have huge budgets that have massive developer teams that can build them. I mean, the advancement that we've seen in like code building from tools like Claude is anyone can do it. Anyone might not be able to do it well, and anyone might not have the knowledge to be able to give the AI agents, but smaller businesses can also work with agencies like us who are building agents and get the wins that you would if you're a large agency.
I think the thing that's most exciting for me about all of it is that you're giving people with good business knowledge, good business understanding, the capabilities of a developer. So developers used to be the only people that could build tools, and quite often developers don't have the business context to be able to build something that's truly useful. Whereas you're giving that skill set to people that understand what's truly useful for the business and giving them the capability to go and build these tools. And I think that's where the real advantage is going to sit, is that anyone that's got the idea, that's the thing, isn't it? Is the idea of how to improve a process or automate a thing or improve performance, and to be able to couple that with developer skill sets. That's where it's really exciting, I think. But I guess with AI comes a lot of skepticism as well. I think there's probably a lot of people out there that, because they don't understand it, they think, is it all just hype? And also the dangers of AI as well. I think as humans, we're naturally worried about AI because it could completely overhaul society one day. So there's a natural level of skepticism around it. What can you do to sort of create guardrails around the agent to make sure that it doesn't go and screw over all of your campaigns overnight when no one's watching it?
Yeah, I think we're at a point at the moment where it needs to be read-only, as in we're definitely not at a point where you should be giving an AI agent like edit access to any like Google Ads or Meta Ads account, because it's similar to like smart bidding. If you go and tell Google Ad, like the agent to go and get more Google Ads conversions, it can probably make some changes to do that. But it might go get, let's say you're a business that only sells in the UK. What if you haven't given it the right prompt, and then it goes and launches loads of campaigns globally and gets you conversions that you can't fulfill, but it thinks it's doing a good job? It's tripling spend. It thinks it's doing the right thing. There's no guardrail in place for that. So I think the way it needs to work, it needs to be read-only, it needs to be suggestions, it needs to still be implemented by a human to make sure that it's not doing that. Also, like it could, for example, like competitor bidding. is a thing that we've spoken about for the last like 10 years. It was huge when we worked at William Hill. It could go and bid on a competitor. Then the competitor's agent can then bid on you. Then you're all bidding on each other. Agents bidding on each other. Everyone's spending money. The only winner's Google. Things like that just need some common sense. Like now, if a competitor starts bidding on your brand, first port of call for me is, right, we should contact them and ask them to stop. Yeah, they might say no, but fine. You can ask them to stop because you don't want to get into a bidding war and just cost everyone more money. But like an agent won't think like that. It doesn't have that sort of interaction, right? Let's go and ask them.
It can't pick up the phone yet and give them a call.
No.
But yeah, I mean, it probably can, to be fair.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But I think my biggest worry, imagine, like, I've seen a lot of off-the-shelf agents' recommendations, and they're always just increased budget.
Yeah.
It's just increased budget here, increased budget here, increased budget here. That's worrying.
I think the key for me is how you train your agent, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like anyone in theory can go and build an AI agent, but unless you train it on good human intelligence,
yeah,
it's going to produce bang average results.
So what it needs to do is it needs to increase budget, it needs to wait for 2 weeks, it needs to check the performance in the platform, it needs to speak to the client, check the performance in the client's back end to make sure the revenue you're seeing in the platform actually corresponds to actual revenue, check the margin, check it's actually profit, like check it's the right strategy. It doesn't do that yet. So
that's it.
It needs to be able to do that before you can do it.
Yeah.
But I think, yeah, that it all comes from the training and the prompts. It will do as it's told, basically. So if you leave anything slightly ambiguous, it basically giving it free rein to do anything it wants.
It's kind of like back to that analogy of a junior member of staff, right? If you don't tell a junior member of staff how to carry out a process in a particular way, if you don't train it properly, it will do it wrong.
Yeah, but you need to build those those guardrails aren't like a sentence; they're like a whole list. There's a massive list of instructions you need to be able to give it.
Yeah,
and that needs to be built.
Yeah. So, what role should agencies be playing in agentic AI as we move into this new era of huge automation?
Yeah, so I think the two things is strategy and communication. Strategy, overseeing AI and communication. So your agency should be driving your marketing strategy. I mean, they should be anyway. But in the world of AI agents, like they definitely should be doing it more than ever because they are saving loads of time. I think, they should also be using the agent, reviewing the recommendations, applying the recommendations, just basically having an oversight on what it's doing and just checking, it's not running away as we just spoke about, going crazy. And then the communication part, I do think is important. I do think it's still important to have that human communication with the client. Have a call, just like check in, make sure the results we're seeing in our platforms result to real life revenue, real life profit. I think that's massively important.
Yeah. How do you see through the hype as well? Because I guess every agency out there is going to be talking about the AI tools that they've got, and anyone can write what they want in a slide deck.
Yeah, I think real life results, real life demonstrations. Yeah. I think they're the only two things you can see to see through hype.
It's got to be useful. This is the thing that winds me up about anything. Automation from the beginning of time is pointless automating something if it's not useful. Everyone gets so lost in the idea of, let's automate that thing. It sounds really cool. Let's go and do it. Waste a load of time on automating a process that was never valuable in the first place. It's kind of like you've got to figure out what are the really useful processes that as a business we do, automate those, and then how do we reinvest that time? And you've got to be able to prove that that's generating results. Otherwise, it is just noise and it's just hype.
When I dare sometimes go on LinkedIn, you very rarely see actual numbers or impact.
That's it.
It's always like, I've automated this. Okay, but was it done?
Yeah, where's the results?
How long has it saved you? Are the outputs as good as they were before? Like, you never see that. But that's because it's fashionable to pretend you love AI.
It's just clickbait, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. It's algorithm. Basically, it turns out talking about AI gets you more views and clicks on LinkedIn. So everyone is now talking about AI, but it's made LinkedIn. So I like to actually see LinkedIn usage. I reckon it's gone way down since the AI boom. We could probably look that up. I can ask AI.
And it'll probably make up an answer.
Because now,
And you can post about it on LinkedIn.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like LinkedIn anyway because I just don't find it that interesting because I don't believe anything you see. But I reckon since the AI boom and everyone's talking about AI, I know we are doing a podcast on AI and we are doing a video on AI, but I reckon the LinkedIn usage has gone right down because you can't trust anyone.
Yeah, that's it.
And there's no real life results and no real life impact.
Yeah. Do you think agencies are going to become more or less valuable in the value chain with agentic AI?
I think the ones who don't adopt it will become less valuable. I mean, that's obvious to say. I think the agencies who are adopting it now and are working on it now and are already training their agents and their agents then become better and better and better will become more valuable.
Yeah.
I think that's where the value of an agency will sit, is the performance of the AI agent rather than the performance of the account managers. The value of an agency will be the value, like how good their AI agent is.
And it's always going to come down to results of campaigns, isn't it?
Yeah. But it's less so. It's going to be how good is your AI agent rather than, how many team members do you have working on an account, because that's irrelevant now. It's not about effort. It's about how good you are and intelligent you are. It's not, you can't just chuck loads of resource at something anymore. You have to chuck resource at the thing powering the strategy.
Yeah. And like it's applicable to, it's not just agencies, right? It's businesses in general.
Yeah.
It's how our finance teams, marketing teams, HR teams, anyone where there's repeatable processes, how they're using an agent to try and automate it. In-house teams as well, freelancers if they've got the capabilities to do it. But I guess if you haven't started, how do you get on the road to building an agent and start automating processes using AI?
I mean, we're going to give away the secrets.
Keep it vague.
How do you start? I think you just need to do some reading. I think you need to start from the end. You need to think, what do I actually want this to do? Achieve? Yeah, and then work backwards from that. I mean, there is, there are a lot of platforms out there where you can just build, Claude code. You can give it instructions and it'll build an app for you, for example. But I think you need to start from the end product. Like, what does this look like? How am I going to interact with the AI agent? And then work backwards from there. Because the AI agent is an LLM model, basically.
It's an LLM model that interfaces with a set of data.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, exactly.
And I guess the other really critical thing in all of this as well is that it shouldn't divert attention away from the fundamentals.
Yeah.
As well, right?
Yeah. But I do think, everyone should be thinking, with the noise around AI, how can I actually make this useful? Like, a lot of people can just be like, I'm just going to start using it. I'm just going to download Claude and start. It's not download Claude and just start asking Claude questions. Because, you should be doing that. You should have been doing that for the last year. It's more, right, how can I actually make this useful? How can I actually save time? How can I actually improve something? And go from there.
What do you think a version of a really bad AI agent would look like in performance marketing context?
Basically just giving it free rein to do what it wants. So edit access and free rein. I think that's the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
And no clear human interaction with the agent. So I do think that's a very important part we haven't really spoke about. It's important to nail down, right, how is the human going to speak to the agent? Like, how is that going to work?
Yeah.
And is there a clear feedback loop to improve the agent from the human?
And also because I think we believe it's really important that the agent is trained on our human intelligence, and it's really important that your team is all working from the same agent as well, right? I think quite a lot of the ways that we've seen people use it is download a version of it onto their local machine, and then that agent is specific to their machine, whereas really what you need something that's accessible to the whole team, where everyone's working from the same set of instructions and the same guardrails. Otherwise, their agent's going to be going off doing different things. Everyone's going to have a different version.
Yeah. There's no point in you training a really good version of an agent for it not to be used by the rest of the people.
Where do you see the role of humans over the next couple of years?
Yes, I mean, for our agency, we don't see agents as replacing staff. We see agents as empowering staff, saving staff time, saving our account managers time, so then our account managers can focus on other things which are useful. It's more, right, historically, an account manager has certain capacity. This is now going to, triple the capacity of an account manager.
Yeah.
To then start thinking strategically, start thinking, outside the box, creatively, and start really driving the strategy, rather than just, being focused on going in the accounts, checking performance, tweaking budgets, writing commentary. That stuff is just not valuable anymore because it can be done with our AI agent. So that's the way we think of it. We don't think of it as a right, we're going to replace all of our account managers with it. It's right, this is a tool that's going to take an average account manager to be an excellent account manager. It's going to take an excellent account manager to be an amazing account manager. Yeah. It's an empowering tool rather than a replacement tool.
It's about elevating the humans as opposed to replacing them, isn't it? And I think that direction of travel, nothing's really changed. That's where we've been focused for the last few years anyway, is trying to make our people as consultative and strategic as possible around the real business challenges and how do you build a marketing strategy that works for a client.
Yeah.
And this is just a tool that's going to give them more time to do that, isn't it?
It's like back in the day when people started using Google Scripts to help them account manage. It's the same thing, just on like a million steroids.
It's just like, rather than it might take you like a day to build a script, or previously you used to have to download a script from a website that someone else had built, you'd paste it into your account, whereas now you've got the capability to go and build that script yourself.
Yeah. But the disruptors like 10, 15 years ago were the ones that were building scripts and building ad tech. They're the ones that they were the disruptors, and that's how the service was way better. It's the same thing really, but it's just on a different level. And the thing is, that was quite specific to our industry. This is obviously, AI is very like generalized across everyone, every like white collar industry.
Yeah. And I guess as an industry, we're fairly forward thinking in terms of technology, right? So I guess as an industry, we're fairly well placed to take advantage of it.
Yeah. So we've had, bidding algorithms been using AI for, years now. Like we had that shift from manual to bidding for, 2 years ago.
I had sleepless nights back in the day that AI was going to take over when automated bidding was everyone was adopting it. I was really worried that we wouldn't have a business in a couple of years' time, and that's really not played out, has it?
But this is the same scenario. Then to win, and even now to win, it's the data you give the bidding algorithms.
Yep.
Now it's the data and the teaching you give the AI agents. It's exactly the same thing.
All about feeding the data, isn't it? Feeding the AI the information it needs, and the only way you can feed it is through human intelligence.
Yeah, rubbish in, rubbish out. Whereas if you give it sand, it's going to give you diamonds. Wait.
Sand makes glass.
Shit. Carbon. If you give it carbon, it makes diamonds.
Hopefully that's given you a clear view of where performance marketing is heading in this new agentic era of AI. And that AI isn't just about using ChatGPT to rewrite an awkward email to finance or your CEO. It's about building truly useful systems that increase productivity, speed to insight, and ultimately make you as a human being more useful, giving you more time to do more strategic things that improve the performance of your campaigns. Join us live with the head of digital at Sigma Sports, Ollie Openshaw, where we talk about how we're using agentic AI together to drive real performance gains across Google and Meta ads. The reason that we're getting so excited about all of this is because we've developed our own AI agent called Max, right? That's the thing that's really making us excited about coming into work every day at the minute. Talk to me a little bit about how Max works. How will people be interacting with Max, from our own employees to clients?
Yeah, so Max is an AI agent that's linked to Slack Messenger. So the way it works is someone will message Max in Slack, that will go into an LLM agent, and then Max basically has the ability to contact different MCP servers. That could be, the Google Ads MCP server, BigQuery MCP server. We've written loads of our own tools for Propel MCP server. So what is an MCP server? That's basically it's basically a function that the LLM model can run. So let's say very basic, it's a function to be able to pull data from a BigQuery table. So the input will be an SQL query, the output will be the data.
It's the layer that sits in between an LLM and a source of data, right? Because if you went into ChatGPT now and said, analyze my Google Ads data, it'd be like, what Google Ads?
Yeah,
I'm not connected.
Exactly.
The MCP is the thing that joins the dots, isn't it, between the LLM and then the source of data?
Yeah, it's basically the toolbox. If you imagine like a builder, it's basically the toolbox to be able for them to do their job.
Yep.
So then basically it uses the MCP tools, it gets the information it needs, it then packages it up in a nice format, and then it sends a message back to the user on Slack.
So essentially it's our own trained version of an LLM that lives within Slack that all of our employees have access to.
Yeah, exactly.
It can produce campaign insight, it can audit accounts, it can check budgets, and that's just its most basic use case.
Yeah, so it has all of those tools at its fingertips, but what it also has is all of the training that we're giving it. So it's an iterative process. So we've been using Max for like a few months now. So after every single response, ourselves, the account managers think, is this correct? So they've been cross-checking it's correct. If it's not, we then be giving feedback to Max to basically be able to correct it, and basically just giving it helpful advice on basically how to be actually useful.
I think that's the key about Max, isn't it? That's the key thing that differentiates it and makes it useful, is the fact that between us, we've got 15 years of PPC experience within the team. We've got such a huge amount of experience. We like to think we know what we're talking about when it comes to PPC and performance marketing. And Max is being trained on all of that information, right? Like that's a big part of our roles now, isn't it? Is how do we make Max have the same level of intelligence that we've got?
Yeah, I think if you ask what makes Max different to other AI agents, the two things are the training we've given it, but also the MCP tools that we've built. So we've built very tailored tools for it to be able to get exactly the information it needs and useful information it needs from a specific query. Yep. And those tools are basically stemmed from all the tech we've built over the years. I mean, we've been a tech-first agency since we founded. We basically turned all of that tech into an MCP server. So Max now has access to all of that tech. So I think that's the two things that make a difference. So the MCP server, but also the training that we've given it.
And that's why we're ahead of the curve as well, right? Is because we've already got these pre-built tools that can automate all these processes, and all we're doing is plugging them into Max, plugging them into the LLM. We haven't got to go and build them already. They're there, ready to use.
Exactly.
We've not built our own LLM as well, right?
No.
Like we're using the pre-existing technology. Which is the best? Which one are we using?
We're using Gemini. I think Gemini and Claude are quite similar to what we're using what we've tested. The thing is, because the LLM is just a layer, it's so easy to change and it's so easy to test.
That's the great thing, isn't it? It's agnostic, isn't it? It's just click of a button. We could switch from Claude to ChatGPT to Perplexity.
Yeah. I do think in terms of giving responses, Gemini is the best. Personally, in terms of building software and coding, Claude is the best. But they all vary. The best. They're quite similar. They are very similar, like standards.
And ultimately, it's how you train it as well, right? It's the inputs that you give it to tell it what the output should look like.
Yeah, I do think so. We don't change LLM like often because I think the training you give it and the prompts you give it can be specific to that LLM. A different LLM might read them differently and give a different response. Then you have to retrain, for example. But it's not something that we're opposed to doing. We've tested the different LLM models and we've come down on Gemini to start with. We have tested flipping between ChatGPT, Claude, but Gemini we think it's better at contextualizing the response than the others at the moment.
But fundamentally, Max is making our team more efficient. All of the really smart people that we've got at Propel, all of a sudden they've got loads more time to be focusing on way more useful strategic things.
But also they're putting their smartness into Max as well.
That's it.
Like Max is Propel. It's like all of the different skills and knowledge and ideas that the team have, they are putting into Max. So Max is Propel basically at the moment.
And it's starting to generate performance gains for clients as well. That's the key thing, isn't it? It's being useful, and clients are getting better results through using Max. So if your PPC team or you as an individual are not taking advantage of agentic AI, now's the time to really crack on and start trying to figure it out, because the businesses that win will be the ones that have the agentic AI systems in place. It's not about budget, it's about who's got the best system, and those systems you need to start building now.
Yeah. Right now, I think, it's happening so quickly that the businesses that win now are the ones that are developing these systems and using them. 6 months to a year, it will become the norm that you have to have a good agent as a base. So you need to work towards that as well. It will be, you can win now in the short term by having an agent. And then I think basically in a year's time, you will lose if you don't have an agent twofold.